Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Fiery demonstration along Waltham Park Road as residents protest deplorable road conditions. More concerns about HIV spread in Jamaica. And later in sports, Sri Lanka fights back against the West Indies on day 4 of second test in Galle. I'm Giovanni Dennis and here are the details. Up first, major roadblocks in the Waltham Park Main Road area of St. Andrew have now been cleared. Taxi operators and some residents set fire to a pile of tires in a section of the road, causing a traffic buildup. They were protesting poor road conditions. Sandy Williams was on location.
We are disgusted at the foolishness. Too much height now, man. Stop playing with taxpayer money. Stop playing with taxpayer money. We're tired of that.
A disgruntled taxi operator. He's among several others who say they've had enough with the poor condition of a section of the Waltham Park Road. They set fire to a pile of tires and debris in the middle of the road to voice their frustration. They claim the poor road is costing them too much.
When they come on to front-end parts, buying gas because of traffic, you know, the more the vehicle linger in traffic is the more gas you consume. And the rate that the gas prices is going at by every week, it's affecting us.
The people say whenever it rains, the area is flooded.
The main source of the problem is the Chisholm Gully, which ends on Waltham Park Road. Now, as you can see behind me, the end of the gully is blocked with piles of debris, which prevents the free flow of water, leading to the ripple effect of flooding in the area. Residents blame the lack of proper drain cleaning activities under the road for the flooding.
You have residents in the area that is dumping debris in the gully, and it is causing a lot of problem where water is concerned. So when the water settles on the road, it gets underneath the asphalt and destroys the road easily.
They say the condition of the road is getting worse with each rainfall.
When rainfall, you know, the gully come over with the debris them and run down in the road and flood out the road and mash up the road, and nobody no fix the road all over the years.
They are appealing to the relevant authorities for a permanent fix to the problem.
When them come, them just come patch it, and then when the rainy season come back again, it mash up back at the same thing. And if we not protest, them now remember to come fix it.
Now what we're asking for is not a temporary fixing. We need a permanent fixing. So we don't have to resort into blocking the road again. We now walk around people. We are doing our honest living. So just do it with the proper way for winner, man. Let the thing work for winner, man. That's all we ask for. Please.
A unit from the fire department responded to the scene and cleared the roadblock. Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
And over in Clarendon, things are back to normal as taxi operators resumed their service amid promises that urgent road repairs will take place along the Bustamante Highway. Javon Keys has that story.
Although named after the country's first Prime Minister, Sir Alexander Bustamante, his status bears no weight on the road maintenance along the Bustamante Highway. Not for the first time, and it clearly won't be the last, taxi operators from Clarendon staged a protest to highlight the condition of the road.
When a man left from all out there, especially when you reach at 4:30, 5 o'clock, all 7 o'clock before you reach out on the better part of the road up there, so my general. Yo, one patrol up on top of the bridge top up there, so. Any car dropping at that, they me tell you, no front end parts, really. Everything goes up.
Mr. Andrew, we have to do better than what we are doing at this one. Better than what we are doing. Every time we need something to be done in this country. We have to protest.
If the road condition wasn't bad enough, motorists on Wednesday also had to contend with traffic delays, but many didn't seem to mind as they felt the issue needs highlighting. The police who were on the scene played a double role, preventing further chaos on the dilapidated thoroughfare and as mediator between the taximen and the National Works Agency. NWA Communications Manager Stephen Shaw confirmed that the road will be fixed.
The management has decided to carry out some work to try and take out some of those deep holes that are on the section between the Glenmuir Bridge and the bridge leading to Parnassus. While that is taking place, we have actually gone to market for remedial work to be done. And the tenders are to be returned tomorrow.
But there's a challenge.
That has to do with the availability of critical ingredient that goes into the making of the asphaltic concrete mix that we will be using to assist us in smoothing out that particular bit of road.
So for now, tempers have eased, but for how long? Javon Keys, TVJ News.
To other news, a spike in positive HIV cases is causing concern in the health sector. It's led several HIV awareness advocacy groups to target teens and young adults, as well as specific parishes in their safe sex awareness drive. Herman Green reports.
Growing HIV concerns in Jamaica.
The last data that we have seen shows that the rate of infection is high among young people ages 15 to 24, which is saying to us that we need to do more work in terms of interventions in communities, in schools.
The Jamaican network of seropositives, JN+, is among those seeking to act on this worrying finding. With focus being on the COVID pandemic for the past 2 years, it's believed that HIV awareness efforts had fallen, resulting in an increase in positive cases. JN+ Executive Director Jamoki Patrick says while cases are on the decline, the spike in the 15 to 24 age group is troubling. It's why there is now a renewed effort to partner with the Education Ministry, local government bodies, and the church in addressing the issues. But the data show that the cases are more prevalent in some parishes.
So the last data shows that Westmoreland, St. and Clarendon, and to some extent St. James are the parishes with the highest rate of infection. And so we have to see what more we can do in those spaces, leveraging partnership, working with the community of people living with HIV, working with communities, working with different private sector and government partners within those places.
Mr. Patrick was speaking at a mural unveiling in Kingston on Wednesday. The mural is part of the collaborative effort to raise awareness about stigma and discrimination against persons with HIV.
Stigma and discrimination constitute a barrier to persons getting treatment, accessing treatment, being cared for, and getting tested, knowing their status. It is important in the fight against HIV, in the fight to end the HIV and AIDS-related death, because we want the country to reach our 1990 targets. 90% of people who are HIV positive know their status. 90% of those that know their status are on treatment, and 90% of persons who are on treatment are virally suppressed. Once we're there, once we're at that level, then we are on our way to an enabling environment to eliminate stigma and discrimination and be more supportive of people living with and affected by HIV.
Herman Green, TVJ News.
And it's now time for a break here on the Midday News, but please stay with us much more when you return. Welcome back to the Midday News. Renewed calls this afternoon for the Queen to be removed as Jamaica's head of state in light of Barbados actually doing so. The issue was discussed on the morning agenda on Power 106.
The push for the government to sever ties with the British monarchy is again heating up. It's a matter that has been a source of discussion for years. At least one attorney believes now is the time to make that move.
So getting rid of the monarchy for me is extremely important. Allied to that, just like what Michael Hilton said, also delinking from the Privy Council. I would think that is something that we should be doing also.
But if the Queen is removed as head of state, what should be the replacement? Former Prime Minister Bruce Golding believes a president should be selected by the Houses of Parliament.
The big question was, how is the president going to be chosen? You don't want a president who is elected, because you get right back to the business where this is either a PNP president or a JP president. We have a Governor General now who is not a PNP Governor General or a JP Governor General.
But Attorney Kenyatta Powell does not agree.
I think that in a truly democratic system and a democratic society, that individual should be directly elected by the society, by the electorate. as a whole. So my own preference is to have an executive president, and that executive president be elected directly by the people.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the Constitution of 1962 is on course for major review beginning in 2022. At that time, Attorney-at-Law Michael Hilton is hoping that the country will make the move to becoming a republic.
That is something that you want to get some sense of public reaction on. Because it seems to me that that issue ought not to stymie and continue to block such a major initiative. And one good thing I think for us that's going to come out of the development in Barbados is that it will put some pressure on our political leaders to do something this time.
Herman Green, TVJ.
6 more people have died from COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The overall death toll now stands at 2,402. Jamaica also recorded 32 new COVID-19 cases from 704 test samples. The positivity rate is 5.4%. The country's case count is now 91,304. 156 people are being treated for the virus at hospitals, 9 are critically ill and 14 moderately ill. There are 678 active cases. In the meantime, 36 more Jamaicans have recovered from the virus as of Wednesday. Total recoveries now stand at 62,702. And for the latest in the financial world, here's Cody and Barrett with the Business Minute.
Cabinet has approved amendments to the spectrum pricing policy and framework. While speaking at Wednesday's post-cabinet media briefing, Information Minister Favour Williams says this will change how fees are charged for the radio frequency spectrum.
There shall be no refund of spectrum usage or license fees or spectrum management fees. A holder of a spectrum license may, however, request a prorated credit of spectrum usage or license fees to its account in the event it wishes to relinquish one or more of its licenses.
In business internationally, U.S. President Joe Biden says the U.S. economy is in a strong position thanks to action taken by the government to free up supply chain blockage and tackle the rising cost of living. These include allowing West Coast ports to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to reduce congestion.
But we're heading into a holiday season in very strong shape. It's not because of luck. We averted potential crisis by figuring out what needed to get fixed, and then we brought two people together to do the hard work of fixing it.
And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Cody Ann Barrett.
We go now to the top regional and international stories with Sandy Williams.
In regional news, the St. Kitts and Nevis government says it will not follow its other Caribbean community, CARICOM countries, and impose a travel ban on several African countries following the discovery of the Omicron variant of the COVID-19 virus in South Africa over the past few days. Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris told Parliament on Wednesday that his administration would follow the advice given by the World Health Organization, WHO, to not impose any travel restrictions on South Africa. Mr. Harris said while some countries have imposed several bans on South Africa and other southern African countries to keep the Omicron variant out, the new strain has already been confirmed in other countries. On the international scene, Russian Foreign Minister has warned that Europe could return to what he called the nightmare of military confrontation. At a recent European Security Conference in Sweden, Mr. Lavrov floated the idea of a new European Security Pact to try and stop NATO from expanding further east. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken warned of serious consequences if Russia sought conflict with Ukraine. The meeting comes as Russia boosts its military near Ukraine's border. Ukraine says Russia has amassed more than 90,000 troops there, but Moscow denies it is preparing an attack on Ukraine and accuses Kyiv of its own military buildup. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Sandy Williams.
And we now head to a quick break. When we come back, Simon Preston will have the Midday Sports.
Welcome back. It's now time for Midday Sports. I'm Simon Preston. The West Indies failed to bowl out Sri Lanka on day 4 of the second test in Galle and face a likely draw and loss to the series. At stumps, the home side reached 328 for 8, a lead of 279 runs. The Windies ended day 3 with good work in the field, and the job now was to continue that work and try to bowl out the home side. Sri Lanka got past West Indies' lead and built a lead of their own as they made the Caribbean side work in the sun. But the spinners continued to work well for the Caribbean side as Ruston Chase and Versamy Permaul picked up valuable scalps to put the Windies in control. Sri Lanka were at 221 for 8, a lead of 172. But Dananjaya De Silva and Lasith Embuldinea put on 107 for the 9th wicket to claw the home side back into the contest and out of West Indies' favour. They reached stumps at 328 for 8. West Indies head coach Phil Simmons gave credit to De Silva, who brought up his 8th test century in the innings. In the same breath, Simmons feels it's an uphill task for the Caribbean side on day 5.
The wicket wasn't ragging as much as we thought it would today on the 4th day, and he controlled it. It was a superb 100, and the one chance we got, he got one chance in the whole inning, so I think he played us out of the game. 98 overs tomorrow and 300 runs to get it. It's a little bit difficult, especially on a wicket that's going to be turning some appreciably tomorrow. So it's going to be a difficult one.
Day 5 action bowls off at 11:30 p.m. Jamaica time. Sri Lanka leads the 2-match test series 1-0. To football we go now, as Reggae Boys defender Ethan Pinnock and Brentford will face Tottenham Hotspur in action from the English Premier League this afternoon. Brentford are 11th in the table on 16 points, while Spurs are 9th on 19 points. Kickoff is at 2:30 Jamaica time. At 3:15, Manchester United will host Arsenal at Old Trafford. United are 10th in the table on 18 points, while Arsenal are 5th on 23 points. And finally this afternoon, Reggae Boys defender O'Neill Fisher has been released by Major League Soccer club the LA Galaxy. Fisher made 12 appearances for the club since joining them in February. The Galaxy did not qualify for the MLS playoffs this season. Fisher will now be searching for the 4th club of his career, having also previously represented the Seattle Sounders and DC United. Fisher has scored 1 goal in 20 appearances for the Reggae Boys. And that is it for your Midday Sports Report. I'm Simon Preston. Giovanni, it's over to you.
Simon, you are an eternal optimist about West Indies cricket. What do you feel about our chances in this game?
It's difficult because of the quality of the surface that it is to get 300 runs on a final day. I think we're really heading for a draw, but I thought we were going to talk about what's happening at Old Trafford today, Arsenal, Manchester United, but we'll have to wait and see.
One of us will be happy tomorrow, and I'm certain it won't be you regarding that game.
Well,
but I can tell you where we're heading right now. We're heading out of the Midday News. I'm Giovanni Dennis. Please join us at 7 for Primetime News. On behalf of the news, sports and production teams, have a good afternoon.